from Sepsis Education, educating healthcare professionals on the dangers of sepsis and its aftermath. So today we're going to be talking about what is sepsis, and we're also going to be talking about the Sepsis Education channel and everything that's going with it. Okay, so what is sepsis? So sepsis starts out as a localised infection. And if you need to know anything about a localised infection, it starts off as redness, swelling, pain, loss of function, so loss of movement, and heat. Okay? And that's actually how any infection starts. So for me as a podiatrist, it would be an ingrown toenail. You're like, oh, that looks fun. Or for someone else, it would be UTI or an ear infection, all of these different things. But it's something that you need to be keeping an eye on. But what then happens is that infection goes into the blood, and the infection then actually makes the blood very acidic. And when the blood is acidic, it makes it quite sticky and it causes a widespread inflammation. So if you think of a motorway or a highway, depending on where you're from, and one of the lanes is out, it takes a lot longer to get to your destination, and so that's what I'm kind of talking about. And so this means that you have less oxygen in your system because it can't go around the body as quick. And when you have less oxygen in your system, it's something called, we get something called metabolic acidosis. And this is because, I know this is going to go way over a lot of people's heads, but this is because instead of, when it comes to your breathing, you take in oxygen and it goes around and comes out as carbon dioxide, you can't take in as much oxygen, so you've actually got more carbon dioxide going around your system. So your body is wanting to protect itself. So you are going to be deep breathing because you're wanting to bring in that oxygen, but it can't. I just dropped my phone. Oh well. Your blood pressure is going to drop. Your temperature, this is the weird one. Your temperature is either going to be below 36 or above 38.2. A lot of people think, oh, I've not got a high temperature, I'm okay. But sometimes that's actually not the case. A person can be really pale. And this is basically because, like, pale or like have a rash or like a jaundice, like so a yellowy kind of colour. And this is because, as I was saying, your body's really, really clever. But the things that it needs to keep going are your brain, your heart and your lungs. That's it. Everything else is an afterthought. So your yellowy colour is basically to do with your kidneys and your liver because they're not working properly. But you can go pale because everything else is an afterthought. You can lose your fingers, you can lose your toes, you can lose your legs, but you can't lose your heart, your lungs and your brain. So basically your body is thinking of those things. And you can always go on dialysis when it comes to your kidneys to filter out everything. So basically your body is saying, oh my God, but it's trying to maintain these, but it shuts down everything else. But you can have heart attacks because your blood pressure goes so low. And then you can then have heart failure after. Tissue damage. I've known people who've had toes amputated, hands amputated, because they haven't had enough oxygen to those areas and those areas have died. So basically that's what's happening to that. You'll then have, you'll have the fast breathing, you'll have pain, you'll have low blood pressure, your oxygen levels will go down, your temperature will be a bit woo. You'll have like extreme shaking to the point where it looks like you're having a fit. Decreased oxygen levels, basically because your kidneys aren't working properly and not filtering everything. So you're going to be really confused. You can have hallucinations and be really out of it as well. So hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask me any questions in the comments. I'm more than happy to go over it with you, because for me it's something very important. Yeah? And so I'm going to actually be saying about what's going to be happening with the channel and everything that's going with it, and I'm really excited. So I had something called a POP the other day, which is basically something called a prototype course, and it went really well. I also did a study session with a person yesterday. He's doing a nursing degree, and he was like, Laura, I just want to make sure that I've got this right. And so basically I've got an online course that's going to be coming out. I just need to put it onto Thinkific, so I'm thinking it's going to be ready in about 2 weeks. And what that will do, that will be on signs and symptoms of sepsis, the complications, risk factors, and then post-sepsis syndrome as well. And so with that, you'll then get a certificate afterwards and all of this. So it's, I'm wanting it to be really, really good for you. So that's one thing. The YouTube channel is still going to be going. And I really do love it when everybody leaves comments and then leaves me ideas and things like this, because it's really important. And then on the 1st of July, something really exciting is happening. Yeah, so I am starting a podcast, but it's not going to be me, just me. I'm interviewing, well actually no, it's not really interviewing, it's chatting to different sepsis survivors and healthcare professionals about sepsis, what their journey's like with sepsis, also what it's like to have treated with people with sepsis, and basically to start a community. Because I felt very alone until I found UK Sepsis Trust. But they were only available at a certain point. And some of the sepsis groups, they've been amazing, but sometimes it's brought me down, sometimes it's brought me up, and I just want it to be a community of people really positive, even actually negative as well, to actually talk about the things that have happened. But for me, I'm actually going to say something really strange. Although I nearly died last year, I actually consider sepsis to be one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Although it's been a very long road to recovery when it comes to post-sepsis syndrome, I have connected with so many people, so many incredible people that I would never have connected with otherwise. And I feel so incredibly blessed. Like on here I've had the likes of Bonnie, Blake, a whole load of different people, more people than I can name, but we've actually got in contact after YouTube, because like on LinkedIn, a load of different, not LinkedIn, Instagram, and for me those connections mean so much, because if I can help save one person's life, I survived for a reason, and that reason is to be there for others. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who is supporting me in this, and you mean the world to me. So thank you. See you next week.